So, lads, Bronny James in the G League. I'm not going to lie, I hadn't dug deep into the stats because, well, all the advanced stats, because the counting stats, I mean, they told pretty much the entire story. But it is so much worse than I even thought. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 5.9k by the end of the day. We're only 2 off. We're trying to hit 6k by the end of the month. Lads, again, this is video number 5 for the day. We are uploading 10 no matter what because we did not get enough out yesterday. And that's the goal is, let's say 15 every 2 days. So what's the goal? Is about 50 a week. 50 a week. Let's say that's the goal. So we're trying to hit that. And anyway, Bronny. So we know in his G League games he's been extremely poor. But I didn't realize this poor. And obviously, I went and scrolled through some of the advanced stats. And as you guys might be able to see right here, Bronny's on top. It's like, oh, Bronny's won something. No. Will it let me? Why won't it let me scroll across? Do I have to go to the bottom to scroll across? Yeah. So what I have clicked in is, I've set it to played more than 20 minutes a game. He is the literal, you guys might be able to see this, player impact. It's the player impact estimate. He is the only player that plays over 20 minutes a game that is a negative in the entire G League. He is literally the only one that is a negative. And by the way, the median in the NBA is like 8.5. The lowest 25, like, let's just look to be the 10th worst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To be the 10th worst, you have a 4.2. He's negative 0.6. Only Henry Ellenson's even remotely close to him. He's the only one. Now, let's just see if we can take away the minute value. And outside of, let's just say, like, he is the, let's say I guess just don't play minutes. It's hard to judge because, again, he's what? In the just about in the top 10 worst. If you're looking at guys' minutes, in fairness, J Scrub is the only player that realistically you can say has been worse than him because J Scrub's playing 18 minutes a game. It's close to 20. The rest of them playing like 9, 6, 1.2 minutes per game. You can either have, I'm guessing whatever the highest in this stat is probably somebody who plays 1 minute a game as well. Yeah, somebody's played 1 entire minute. So when you can get into the ridiculously high, ridiculously low from a low amount of minutes. But for meaningful minutes, he is the second worst player. Only to a guy who's literally named Scrub. Like, I just put minutes, whatever, minutes greater than, put 15. 15 for that. What have I put in for the minutes here? I've said 115. Okay. But if we put it in 15 minutes a game, it is literally only J Scrub. Only J Scrub is worse than Bronny James. And his name's literally Scrub. Net rating, Henry Ellenson again. Actually, to be honest, he doesn't count. He has a net rating of he's played 1 game. He has a minus 67 net rating. That doesn't count. If you have a net rating in the 50s or in the minus 67, you haven't played enough minutes for it to be really meaningful. And Bronny James, again, assist to turnover ratio, fair play. It's 1-to-1. His assist ratio is okay. Offensive rebound percentage, like all these advanced stats. But if you also want to look at effective field goal percentage, which is another thing, Bronny James is extremely, extremely low. So we're obviously looking at the higher ones right now. For effective field goal percentage at 83, you got MJ Walker. If you go to effective field goal percentage, Bronny James is literally only behind Mauzina Pereira. He's shooting an effective field goal percentage of 21. His true shooting percentage is the second lowest as well. And he's got a 17.2 usage percentage while he's on the floor. He has a pretty high usage percent. At least his assist to turnover ratio's not terrible. Like, he's the same amount of assists as turnovers. But that's about it. And that's realistically the only, like, notable stat that Bronny James has had. But again, J Scrub is there near the bottom. The only player you can say is, like, even comparable. Like, again, he's a 21. There is as bad as J Scrub is, 8% higher in effective field goal. Like, J Scrub is averaging 6 points per game. Played the Clippers for a while. Like, has been an NBA player. Like, he's the only person that you could argue has been even, like, in a similar level to how Bronny James has been. And it is It's rough. It is rough. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's not great from Bronny James. It's really not. And like, I knew he was bad. Like, I thought, you know what? He's just been. There's plenty of guys that have been nearly as bad as him. The only positive for Bronny is that it's a tiny sample size. That's the only positive. Is that, look, it could be a blip, but the difference is like, you can say something's been a blip if more was expected. Like, Jay Scrub has played in the NBA. He's been okay at times in the NBA. Like, he averaged 6.5 points through 2 games. He averaged 2 points per game through 18 games, 21-22. Like, he's been a terrible NBA player. Just want to see, is there anything previously for him in other years in the G League? So I'm just going to check Basketball Reference to see, is there a precedent there of him doing well? If not, then not ideal. I don't know what happened there. But, like, in the G League in general, he's averaged... Where is the average here? Like, he averaged 19 and 24 points per game in his other 2 seasons in the G League. So, like, he played with the Lakeland Magic and averaged 24 games. So, with someone like a Jay Scrub, you're like, okay, this is a blip. You averaged 19 points per game last year. You're just playing bad. Whereas for Bronny James, you averaged 3 points per game. Against... You averaged 3 points per game against a freaking... in a college schedule while being a decent high school player. So, yeah, it is... It's mad looking at the stats how much worse the entire thing looks. Really, really. It looks not good. And hopefully he can play more. But again, that heel bruise that has kept him out indefinitely isn't going away anytime soon, I'd say. I mean, I think it'll go away once they have like a 5 to 6. They have like a 5 to 6 game stretch where they're playing away from home, and she doesn't have to play, and he doesn't have to play. That's what's gonna happen. Bronald is not gonna play until he has to he's not going to be re-registered to the G League until they have 5 or 6 away games in a row. And then he's not going to play in any of those games. And then suddenly, once they have another home game, he's going to be back on the Lakers bench and cheering on the fans. I don't know if he leaves LA this year. I'm not joking when I say that. I'm not sure if Bronny James leaves the city of Los Angeles this year. And I was going to say the state of California, but like, he wouldn't even go to San Diego to play a game. He wouldn't even go up to San Fran to play a game. So I don't see him leaving the city of LA for the rest of the year. And I'm not sure if he plays basketball. Like, this might be a half decent time to retire. With what's happening with the Lakers. And by the way, like, it's not fair on him either. This is not fair on him. Like, this is just talking about a professional basketball player, and it's talking about an organization mishandling a pro basketball player. Like, look, the Lakers have massively mishandled this situation. Like, obviously him getting drafted and everything. Even if the Lakers wanted him to be on the floor at the same time as LeBron, if you are the Lakers, handling this properly would be not drafting the kid. If you're, like, we've seen guys could be second picks not get drafted, like Austin Reeves, who've intentionally not been drafted, not drafting the kid, signing him for Summer League, and he wasn't bad enough in Summer League that it wouldn't, like, you could give him an Exhibit 10 contract, and then just because he had that one preseason game against the Warriors where he didn't look awful, you can give him the Exhibit 10, you can convert that into a 2-way, you can play him in one game where he sits on the bench, gets called up to the NBA, in the first game of the season, so that he can have his moment. Maybe even have the moment in Cleveland. Have him play once at home, once away. Send him to the G League because he's on a 2-way, and let him play out in the G League. Whether he struggles or not, it is what it is. And then it means that if he really, really struggles at the end of the season, you could cut ties and be like, look, he's got the moment. You know what? He just isn't good enough. But what the situation you're in now is he's under contract for 4 years, and he is not a 2-way player. And honestly, I don't even know if you can call him a 1-way player, because I don't know if he's playing for... I don't think he's playing for either of the Lakers or the South Bay Lakers. I actually don't think he's on either of the teams. Like, I don't... We talk about Bronny not being a 2-way player and him not having a 2-way contract. Man, I think he might just have a freaking ambassador contract at this stage. He has... he's probably the highest paid mascot in the NBA at this stage. But anyway, yeah. I'll see you guys. Stats are not looking good.